Welcome to Today Rocket Science. I'm Adam Balkin, and we are bringing you this episode from the Electronic Entertainment Expo, aka E3, in Los Angeles. E3 is an annual trade show for the video game industry, where the latest games, accessories, and cutting-edge video game technology are revealed, often for the first time. And we'll be exploring the world of video games, learning some surprising ways they're being used not just for fun, but to help you get ready for a job. More on that in a minute, but first. In this episode, we head to California for the start of a new tradition, the first ever Astronaut Day meant to inspire everyone to reach for the stars. And with NASA's planned moon mission in 2023, the agency will be needing more and more astronauts to do just that. In Wisconsin, students gathered from across the country to compete in the championship round of the Rube Goldberg Machine Contest, where teams must build a complicated machine to complete a simple task. And in New York City, we take a look at the natural sciences as students rescue, rehab, and release injured birds. And we find out how one 11-year-old is using technology to build a national business that lends a helping hand to her local beekeepers. All part of Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds initiative, aimed at connecting you to science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities in your community. Now, back here at E3, the focus, obviously, is video games and how the industry can keep moving forward. From next-generation gaming consoles to virtual reality, it's a gamer's dream come true. But in Pennsylvania, video games are being used for something they aren't usually associated with, teaching the next generation of scientists and engineers the STEM skills they'll need in their future careers. It might not be obvious to the untrained observer, but these middle and high school students are actually in the midst of a heated competition. The winner will walk away with $1,000 in cash and game design and educational software. But the National STEM Video Game Challenge is about much more than just prize money.
Through skills like coding, through skills like game design, they're actually able to develop the skills they need to succeed in whatever career comes next. So creating a video game really empowers kids to see themselves as creators rather than consumers. Their self-regulation goes up, their motivation goes up as they begin to see themselves as people who can make something that they're proud of.
They might be getting prepared for future careers or becoming personally empowered, but as far as the students are concerned, it's just plain fun.
It's something I enjoy doing. It keeps your mind engaged in what you're doing and makes it so that you have something to do even when you don't have something to do.
Instead of drawing a static image on a piece of paper, when you can create something that other people can try and enjoy.
It's a national competition, so any student anywhere in the country in grades 5 through 12 can take part, and the games themselves can be designed and built at home. The students at today's workshop are lucky, however, because they're getting some game design tips and tricks from a mentor who knows her stuff. She won this competition before, twice.
I actually competed when I was in 8th grade, and then when I was in 9th grade, I competed again, and I was lucky enough to be one of the winners.
The experience has inspired her to use her computer science skills to help solve problems seemingly unrelated to game design.
You can use coding to find DNA segments that are important in figuring out why diseases are occurring.
The contest, presented by the Joan Gans Cooney Center and Eline Media, is in its 5th year and is adding a new prize. Winning games will be featured on the National Geographic Education website, which has over 1 million visitors a month. Student winners will also be invited to a National Geographic event in Washington, D.C. in November. It's not too late for you to get involved. Just head over to stemchallenge.org, but hurry. Games are due by August 15th. Mentorship doesn't just come in handy when competing in a game design competition. It can have a huge impact on someone's life, regardless of the field they're pursuing or the subjects they're passionate about. That fact is being recognized in Rochester, New York, where a mentorship program is helping students prepare for possible careers in the medical sciences. Jordan Mazza has a story.
My best subject is science, so I thought that if I come here, I'm probably going to learn more than I know, and I probably might make a project out of it.
And make a project she did, along with her peers in the Rochester Young Scientist Club. University of Rochester medical students mentor Rochester City School District students. The initiative brings educational opportunities to communities underrepresented in science.
We wouldn't be here
unless we had those mentors to talk to as we were growing up. We had someone to encourage us and say, you know, the fact that you love science is great. You should go with that.
Mentors start working with students as young as 10 and 11 to put together science projects, but the learning doesn't stop there. These high school students are taking a big step, literally. It's the Science and Technology Entry Program. Mentors say they help students develop professional skills and overcome research obstacles.
They work through, both with their mentors and on their own, to navigate when things don't go how you want them to, and be flexible and still come up with a product that you're proud of.
Victoria Day researched thyroid disease. She says the mentorship program is preparing her to become a pediatrician.
Sarah's kind of my role model of what to do, and I mean, I feel like I would be a role model to younger kids of what they could do.
Mentors say the learning is a two-way street.
It takes us back to that initial fire we had that really drew us into a scientific field. It really kind of re-inspires us to remember why we're here and how our interests started.
For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Jordan Mazza.
Having your own mentor can help you get through any number of academic challenges, not to mention giving you someone to look up to or be inspired by. But could a whole country ever have a person or a group of people to play that role? Let's head to California, where our Barbara Sharp speaks to the very people who have been an inspiration for millions across the globe, as the United States has its first ever National Astronaut Day.
We shall send to the moon, 240,000 miles away, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall.
And America did, with the help of her astronauts like Frank Borman, commander of the 1968 Apollo 8 mission.
I was at Edwards when President Kennedy made the speech about landing a man on the moon in the decade of the 60s. And it seemed to me that that we were entering a whole new era, and this was probably a good place to be.
According to NASA, thousands of applications are received, but only a few are chosen. The first ever National Astronaut Day honors these and all astronauts, like Sally Ride, a space shuttle mission specialist during the 1980s. She recounts a landing.
We're supposed to land in Florida at the Kennedy Space Center, but the weather was awful there, so we got diverted into California and landed at Edwards Air Force Base. And it was an absolutely beautiful landing. I remember that I didn't even know when the wheels had touched down.
According to organizers, the idea behind National Astronaut Day is to inspire everyone to reach for the stars by celebrating astronauts and their missions.
NASA says a moon flyby is planned for 2018 with a manned moon mission in 2023, all in preparation for a human trip to Mars.
Kids today might be the astronauts of the future that could be going to Mars for us.
In the meantime, visit nationalastronautday.com for more information on this year's celebration of space travelers.
And liftoff.
At Edwards Air Force Base, Barbara Sharp for Time Warner Cable News.
All right, we have to stop here for a quick break, but coming up, we take a look at two massive science fairs in New York City with thousands of students in attendance, and with them, thousands more resumes. And in Wisconsin, we were on hand for the championship round of a national competition where all the winning team has to do is open an umbrella, but they have to do it in the most complicated way possible. And later we learn about the science involved in the rescue and rehabilitation of wild animals, and we meet one 11-year-old girl inspired to start her own business after learning about the declined bee population in the United States. To find hands-on science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities in your community, visit theconnectory.org, made possible by Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds.